Jai Sri Ram. Welcome to everybody and welcome here. We have some great legal minds like Harishankar Jainji is a senior advocate from Supreme Court and Dharma Prachar Bagh, Haryana's legal head, Ram Kumar Sethi ji, and also one of the very interesting, maybe the petitioner, he will explain himself very well, Bharat Gobuji, and to discuss about the matter, the fight almost happening between the judiciary and the central government, Modi government, and the collegium system and all those things. To discuss about it, we cannot have better people than you. And thank you very much for joining, Bharat Mark. And friends, before going further, I'll request you, if you're watching this video, please make sure to like the video, comment and share. If you have any questions, post on it. And also, friends, make sure to subscribe the channel Bharat Marg and press the notification button to stay connected so that you get notified when we go live with the title. So if you're interested, you can join the conversation. Okay, we'll love to have you. And again, welcome all. And the question initially we are getting started, Harishchandra Jainji, is Indian judiciary crossing the Laxman Rekha? Is a question mark? Okay, is crossing the Laxman Rekha? Modi government take a tough stand against nepotism buddy system in the Indian judiciary and says no. Will the government try clip the wings of Supreme Court? Is a main question in everybody's mind. Okay, now basically the center rejects the Supreme Court's panel's 10 choices for judges. So they reject them. Again, they call it is a nepotism and also few other things they are going through with. And also that Supreme Court says the process of selecting the chief election commissioner should be more transparent, and center gives response judiciary can't interfere in the selection of election commission, kind of autonomous body. So now going starting with Harishchandra Jainji, you can get started. If you can just put your thoughts at 1 or 2 minutes on Indian judiciary crossing the Laxman Rekha or what.
हरे कृष्णा टू ऑल.
Hare Krishna.
देखिए, एक्चुअली स्पीकिंग, the question of appointment of judges has a far-reaching effect, and it is being discussed for the last so many years, not
Uh-huh.
from the 2014, but for the last more than 50 years. And the crisis in the appointment of judges started from Indira Gandhi period, when in 1971 three judges were superseded by the government, and they appointed the judges of for their own caste who were supporting them, like Justice Baig, Justice N. Ray, and the crisis began at that time. In fact, the Supreme Court, with the view to overcome the governmental attitude of appointment of judges of their choice, evolved a procedure in 1998, 1993. Firstly, that is first appointed judges case. And they will surprised to know that actually Indira Gandhi, as well as the Congress government at that time, they wanted to capture the entire judiciary. After their election was declared null and void in 1975, it is plight of Mrs. Gandhi to capture the judiciary. And for that end, crisis began. And I may remind one thing, and you may excuse me, and I will not blame anybody. Once upon a time, judges were appointed on the basis of the price paid by them, the capacity to pay. The executive was doing. Then judges' case was evolved to have a check on the right of the government to choose judges. But at the same time, it is true this collegium system has evolved by judiciary itself, that has become failure, total failure. And now judges are doing the same thing which executive are doing in 1971, 73, or 75 or thereafter. And he at this time, one thing that the wards, children, the nephews, the uh, relatives of judges, they are firstly considered for justice. And if you see the procedure, not only procedure, the working also, most incompetent persons, those who cannot even write a simple petition, they have been elevated. It is a very astonishing, very surprising, and is not good for the health of judiciary. The Modi government bring about the law, the collegium system, to change the amendment the constitution. But I say that amendment was not up to mark. There were so many drawbacks in that amendment, in the judges matter appointment in constitutional amendment. Now we have to evolve a new method, a new method when at least the competent judges should be appointed, the honest judges should be appointed. Or one thing I want to say, that the judges who have no knowledge about Indian culture, Vedas, Shastras, they are being appointed who do not know the ground reality of the country, who are not well versed with the ethos, with the culture and the morals of the country. There should be a new law, and actually, Constitution requires to be amended thoroughly, and a new system with
Ye-
consonance with the G. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Please finish the line. Yeah,
yes. Now we require not appointed by judges itself and not appointed by executive itself. Because today the Modi government is different. But tomorrow what will happen? We have to
absolutely,
evolve we have to evolve the situation when judges are appointed, they are honest and dignified and they know the law. And the justice delivery system is delayed. The justice is being delayed because incompetency of judges.
absolutely.
Yes, that is the reason.
Awesome. We'll just come back to you in the second, 1 second, okay? Please,
Yes.
I'll like to take Ram Kumar Sethi ji also in the conversation. And Ram Kumar ji, you know, what do you see this as? The collegium system, the minister says it's not viable anymore. You heard what Harishankar Jain ji bhi bata rahe the, you know. आप क्या बोलेंगे इसके बारे में? मोदी गवर्नमेंट से नेपोटिज्म बहुत ज्यादा है इसमें, एंड वी हैव टू से नो टू इट. आप क्या बोलेंगे?
परम पूजनीय श्री हरिशंकर जी ने जो बताया बिल्कुल एकदम से ठीक बताया है। और जजेस को देश की संस्कृति के बारे में सारे उसके बारे में जानकारी होनी चाहिए। और ये जो मोदी सरकार भी कर रही है वो बिल्कुल ठीक कह रही है कि जजेस में परिवारवाद, जातिवाद और पता नहीं क्या क्या इनका आपस में लेन देन के मामले चलते हैं कि एक आप मेरा सिलेक्ट कर दो, एक दूसरे का सिलेक्ट कर दो, तो आप मेरा करो मैं तुम्हारा करूंगा। तो ये सारा जो भी घपलेबाजी चल रही है ये बहुत गलत है और मैं समझता हूँ कि ये बिल्कुल ठीक होना चाहिए। और मैं एक और महत्व की बात कह रहा हूँ कि ये जो अपना NJS वाला बना था, ये जो बिल था ये सर्वसम्मति से पास हुआ था। और हमारे पार्लियामेंट के अंदर आप देखेंगे तो सर्वसम्मति से यूनानिमसली बहुत कम बिल पास होते हैं। तो इसका मतलब तो पूरे देश की सहमति हो गई ना कि इसमें जो है घपला है, इसमें फ्रॉडबाजी है, इसमें कई जो कुछ है वो अपने लोगों को लाया जाता है। तो बिल्कुल ये ठीक होना चाहिए। तो उसके लिए ये कॉलेजियम सिस्टम को खत्म करना ही इसकी बहुत जरूरी है, अनिवार्यता है। तो ये होनी ही चाहिए क्योंकि कॉलेजियम सिस्टम कोई इस देश का जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में तो कोई इसका प्रोविजन है ही नहीं। तो ये तो सरकार जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट है वो अपनी मर्जी से एक केस के में रूलिंग दे करके इन्होंने अपने आप ही इसको कानून बना लिया। ये कानून बनाने की जगह तो है नहीं ना, कानून बनाने का काम तो पार्लियामेंट का है। तो पार्लियामेंट में तो इसके कोई प्रोविजन बनाया नहीं, ऐसी कोई एक्ट पास नहीं हुआ। तो ये इन्होंने सेल्फ मेड सेल्फ स्टाइल्ड जो है इसको बना करके वो देश के ऊपर जबरदस्ती से थोप दिया है।
राम कुमार जी, ये एक सवाल है, as a third person, I am not from your legal fraternity. I just ask you as a third person, right? As a citizen who just, participant in the conversation, I ask you, मैं जब भी देख रहा हूं कि ये बोला जाता है ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट जस्टिस जो है ये इनका बेटा है, उनका भतीजा है, ऐसा बोलता जाता है। क्या is it a qualification that you need to be related to, or you need to be from a certain family to become the judge? Is that ऐसा भी होता है क्या?
यस, बिल्कुल ऐसा ही होता है। ऐसा होता नहीं, ऐसा ही होता है कि ये जो अपने लोगों को उसमें जिनका अपने नॉमिनेट कर देते हैं, और आप अगर देखेंगे तो इनके अपने कुछ थोड़े से परिवार यही हैं जो कुल मिलाकर के जुडिशरी में घूमते रहते हैं। परिवारवाद, जातिवाद, और ये जो इनके अपने लोग लॉ के अंदर वंशवाद जैसे मान लो, या जो इनके प्रोफेशन के अंदर इनके नजदीक होते हैं वो उनको ही लाया जाता है। दूसरे बार से तो आने वाले है ही नहीं, गिनती के हैं। और उससे बड़ी बात मैं एक और कहता हूँ कि कई बार तो ऐसे लोगों के नाम आते हैं और वो जजेस बन जाते हैं जिन्होंने एक भी केस प्राइवेट नहीं किया होता। मेरी जानकारी में ऐसे कई नाम है, मैं यहाँ सबके नाम नहीं लेना चाहता। बहुत से लोग आपको ऐसे मिलेंगे जो एजी ऑफिस से आते हैं, उन्होंने प्राइवेट तो एक केस भी नहीं किया होता पर वो आ जाते हैं। और बहुत से, जैसे जैन साहब ने बोला ना कि उनको संस्कृति की भी जानकारी नहीं है, काल, वस्तु, देश, उसके बारे में कुछ जानते नहीं। तो ये भाई भतीजावाद जो है इसका बहुत ज्यादा बोलबाला है। एक जज दूसरे का आदमी सिलेक्ट करता है, दूसरा वो उसका करता है। तो ये सारा घपलेबाजी चल रही है, बिल्कुल चल रही है।
Bilkul. I will just go to Bharat Gobuji quickly on the matter, and I'll ask him, Bharat Gobuji, you are working, you are a concerned citizen on this matter. आप बोल रहे थे कि ईसी में, see, Supreme Court is saying whatever the chief election commissioner selection process is not fair and transparent. Okay, if some other governing body like Supreme Court, if finds problem with that, what is the problem for the center in that? It is good to be transparent, and you know what I mean.
Is the judiciary transparent?
Yeah, you had to say, but the thing is, you heard about. Yeah, please go ahead.
See, my basic argument is, like Ram Kumar ji was saying, the job of the judiciary is to adjudicate on laws which are made, passed by the will of the people, represented by the member of parliaments in parliament. The Supreme Court cannot form or frame any law. Second, Mr. Kiran Rijiju as law minister is perfectly right when he says that the collegium system is alien to our constitution. Now, मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूं कि छोटी मुंह बड़ी बात करूं इस बात में, but this started with the first judge's case in 1981. हरिशंकर जी, मैं माफी चाहूंगा, मैं आपके सामने इसकी जिक्र करूं, मैं बहुत क्षमा प्रार्थी हूं इसको लेके। But from 1981 to 1998, it is a story of the camel in the tent.
Yes.
And 81, it started with, the judiciary or the chief justice should be sought for consultation. Yes. In 98, they decide that consultation is basically my concurrence, or my suggestion is my decision.
Yes.
Now, tell me of any one country in the world where Judges not only appoint themselves, they are a law unto themselves. They decide their own, modus operandi. They decide who will hear, what they will hear. What is the job of the parliament then, which is the will of the people? In a democracy, we say parliament is supreme. We follow the Westminster form of governance. Can anybody cite me the word collegium in the whole constitution? And constitution is pretty extensive.
You're right.
Now,
See?
coming back to the present situation, I will not name any person. I have nothing against any individual. I respect the law. I respect individuals. Having said that, I'm talking about a gentleman who passes law in 1983, goes abroad for 5 years, gets trained in the United Kingdom, comes back, within 2 years becomes a designated senior of the Bombay High Court. Now, हरिशंकर जी प्लीज मुझे आप थोड़ा ज्ञान दें कि 2 साल के अंदर अंदर इतिहास में किसी भी देश में कोई सीनियर बन गया?
नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ. Right?
करेक्ट? अच्छा,
Yes.
मैं जज बनता हूं या मुझे कोई नियुक्त करता है या मेरा नाम कोई सुझाव देता है जजशिप के लिए, तो देयर मस्ट बी सम ऑर्डर्स विच आर पाथ ब्रेकिंग और विच आर of some eminence or which have some serious value to society. Can you cite me even one judgment of the person? I will tell you the name in private, but there is no such citation to the best of our research. I can be wrong, my research can be misplaced,
No, you are right.
it
You are
might
right.
be wrong.
Sir, you are right.
I become a judge only because my father was a judge.
Yes. Correct.
And my father, post retirement, becomes the chief of a sports. He becomes a kind of a amicus curiae of a sports organization, which pays him 5 lakh of rupees per month. Have you heard of 5 lakh of rupees per month?
No.
And
Right.
today we have a situation where even if he sneezes, it is a news. And we all live in fear of contempt of court, whereas there is nothing called contempt of court. If I cannot ask a question, why do I have to have a democracy? We might as well declare ourselves a fascist country.
Prashant Bhushan just paid 1 rupee for contempt of court. What is a big problem in that?
Yeah, but then there is no parity. Supposing I jail you for 10 days for a contempt of court, but in another case I put you even I fine you 1 rupee. Is that the law? The law is a joke.
Yeah. Anyway, that's great, and yeah, see, Harishankar Jainji, what is the general feeling in the lawyer fraternity? Is that there is a support for the collegium, or they are opposing the collegium? What is what's happening in your fraternity?
Okay. Can I tell you very frankly
Hanji.
what is the actual position? The actual position is that here advocates are having vested interest. Every advocate has a vested interest. And advocates even not honest in expressing their views on the subject. If someone is selected of their kith and kin by the collegium system, they will support. If they have some approaches in the government, then the government should select. But actually, in India, what I feel, bar is too weak, and bar itself is not honest. When the bar will become honest, the judiciary will become honest. Everything will go. A judge is transferred, there is hue and cry, there is a voice of dissent, and boycott the court. One judge is transferred, clapping. These are all party politics and local issues. what I feel, that advocates should be prompt in putting their views. And so far the independence of judiciary is concerned, unless judiciary is independent, judiciary is honest, and judiciary is hardworking, judiciary as judge knows the law, then we will be benefited more than what achieving the personal interest. Here we find, you go, for example, I'm saying, one advocate appears, his case is dismissed, and the same facts, set of facts, other cases allowed, or stays granted, notice issued. Why? Why? The question is why. And why answer is very apparent. Because the choice of judges, due to choice of judges, they are not doing the impart justice according to law or honesty. And it's happening everywhere, from top to bottom. Go and see the members of the bar, that the executive bar associations. I will tell you, the election of bar, in every bar, every district court bar, lakhs of rupees are spent to win the election of president or secretary. The question is, why? Because the person who will be selected or elected as president, he will terrorize the judge, he will terrorize the judiciary, and he will get favorable order. It happens in everywhere. Where the bar association is there. These are hard words. I may be disliked by my own fellow men, by advocates, but this is true fact. And when the question comes, say something regarding the honesty, regarding the appointment of judges, they all keep quiet. One thing more, the government selects. I'm not talking of this government, that government. I'm talking of the government, whatever party may be. In appointment of advocates of the state government or the central government, lot of favoritism is there. And judges are mostly appointed or selected or may be considered out who are not the kith and kins or the present judges from the members of who are representing the state government or central government. And their appointment itself is faulty. In India, we cannot compare ourselves with other countries. What is the situation in other countries? That is something different from India. In India, we have to evolve a very honest system. And I'm repeating, the persons who have not even know ABC of Indian culture, even simple Ramayana, they have studied outside a 5 years course at English medium school. They have approaches and they become judges. They do not know the ground reality of the villages. They do not know. And how justice will be obtained? No judge can impart justice. And this collegium system, it is only relative scope. Relative scope means, I may tell you, without naming, that all the retired judges whose wards, children, they are searched and selected first. Who can be? May be competent, may be incompetent, may be knowing the law, may not be knowing the law. So, alarming situation in India is that collegium system, which was far better. And I repeat, that collegium system was introduced to check the then Congress government, because there were a lot of complaints against them. They were taking money for the appointment of judges.
Absolutely.
And collegium system came to have a check. But now this collegium system itself is not corrupt.
Absolutely. And here is a question. I will go to Ram Kumar Satiji also. There are two questions here. Number one is Modi government kind of upset because collegium system was there so long, right? Ram Kumarji, all of a sudden, why Modi government is going against it? Is it because they started poking their nose into the EC, or what? Okay, number one. And number two, here is a viewer asking question why judges are not declaring their this thing asserts. You know, when आप जब एमएलए के लिए कॉन्टेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो आपको asserts डिक्लेयर करना पड़ता है, क्यों जजेस नेवर डिक्लेयर? इसका कोई लाभ भी आएगा क्या?
हाँ, धीरे धीरे आएगा, लाभ भी आएगा, जैसे आरटीआई का भी आया है तो ये भी आएगा। और ट्रांसपेरेंसी तो इसमें आनी ही चाहिए, सभी लोग भी चाहते हैं, जनमानस चाहता है। और उसके अलावा जो बहुत से जजेज हैं उनका भी ये मानना है, जैसे जस्टिस रोमापाल का है तो उन्होंने भी बोला था कि भाई ये एक मेरा और एक आपका, मैं सिलेक्ट करूं तुम मेरा करो, ऐसे चलता है लेन देन के मामले पे, ये सारा कुछ होता है। तो ट्रांसपेरेंसी तो आनी ही चाहिए। जस्टिस रस्तोगी जी ने भी बोला, जस्टिस रंगनाथ पांडे जो इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट के थे उन्होंने भी बोला, और उसके अलावा बहुत से और जजेस ने भी बोला। तो ऐसे ये नहीं है कि जुडिशरी के अंदर जो लोग हैं वो नहीं समझते, अंदर की गंदगी तो वो भी समझते हैं और उसको सुधार करने की आवश्यकता को भी समझते हैं। किंतु इसके लिए वही था कि बिल्ली के गले में घंटी कौन बांधे, तो अब मोदी सरकार ने वो बांधने का बिल्कुल स्टेप ले लिया है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि बिल्कुल बंधेगी, ये बंधेगी, ये घंटी बंधेगी।
राम कुमार जी, मोदी जी आके इतना साल हो गया, अभी तक वो कुछ नहीं इसमें किए, अब क्यों ऑल ऑफ सडन? बिकॉज ऑफ द न्यू, आफ्टर दिस न्यू चीफ जस्टिस गॉट अपॉइंटेड, ऑल ऑफ अ सडन
नहीं, फाइट इज गोइंग ऑन फॉर द सो मेनी इयर्स।
ये ऐसा है कि इसमें देखो आप, ये 55 साल की 70 साल की जो भी बीमारी है वो एक दिन में तो ठीक नहीं हो रही ना, होएगी नहीं। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अब तक लगभग 127 अमेंडमेंट्स हो चुकी है। तो ये 99 अमेंडमेंट थी, इसको जो करने का प्रयास किया गया, पर इसको इन्होंने 9 महीने के अंदर ही रिपील कर दिया। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अब याद आया है, देखो बहुत सा काम है। अब एक काम जो है वो स्टेप वाइज होगा, सारे काम एकदम से नहीं हो सकते ना, तो उसको टाइम लगता है। तो जब जिसका जो नंबर आएगा, जिसका जैसे माहौल बनेगा सरकार के लिए, देश के अंदर माहौल बना हुआ, लोगों की राय है, उसकी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंस होती है। तो इसलिए मैं समझता हूँ कि ये समय समय पर जो भी हो रहा है ठीक करने के लिए हो रहा है। इसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको अब याद आया, मैं ऐसा नहीं मानता। हो रहा है तो हमें इसका स्वागत करना चाहिए।
और सो वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन है इसमें, ये जो बेंच फिक्सिंग बोला जाता है, यू नो, इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट, यू नो, ये लॉयर के साथ जाओ तुम्हारा काम हो जाएगा, इसका अंदर बहुत सारा कनेक्शन है, इसको आप कैसा देखते हैं? मींस दे चार्ज यू हेल लॉट ऑफ मनी, एवरेज पीपल लाइक अस कैन नॉट गो।
बिल्कुल ठीक है कि लगभग 50-60 जो दबंग वकील है उन्होंने सारी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऊपर कब्जा किया, वो अपने डराते हैं, धमकाते हैं, उनको ब्लैकमेल करते हैं, तो वो उनसे काम लेते हैं। इसमें कोई ऐसा नहीं है, सबको दिख रहा है, बोलने वाले नहीं है, दिखता तो सबको है, ऐसा नहीं है कि दिख नहीं रहा। बिल्कुल आप बात सही कह रहे हैं कि ये ऐसा इन्होंने अपना बना रखा है, उनके ऊपर दबाव बना रखा है, बिल्कुल सही है। और ये इनके एसेट्स के बारे में भी बिल्कुल डिक्लेयर होना चाहिए, जैसे दूसरे ऑफिसर्स के लिए या दूसरे कर्मचारियों के लिए है। अब ये जो जैसे अभी ये कह रहे हैं ना कि भाई जो हमने नाम भेजे हैं तो उनको 3 या 4 हफ्ते के अंदर अंदर आप बिल्कुल क्लियर करके उनके ऊपर रबड़ स्टैंप की तरह काम करो और मोहर लगा करके राष्ट्रपति के पास भेज दो। ये कोई पोस्ट ऑफिस तो नहीं है ना, जो गवर्नमेंट है वो पोस्ट ऑफिस का काम नहीं करती। और दूसरी बात मैं एक और बताता हूँ, कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि मान लो सरकारी किसी विभाग के अंदर एक क्लर्क की भी जो नियुक्ति होती है, अपॉइंट होता है, सिलेक्ट होता है, तो उसकी भी कैरेक्टर की जो वेरिफिकेशन है या उसकी जो भी बैकग्राउंड है उसका वेरिफिकेशन पुलिस से भी होता है, सीआईडी से भी होता है, और कई जगह से उसके बारे में जानकारियां ली जाती है। तो जजों की जो है, जजेस की पोस्ट जो इतनी बड़ी है, जिसने पूरे देश को मार्गदर्शन करना है, वो न्याय करना है, तो क्या उनके लिए ये जो रिपोर्ट्स वगैरह मंगानी है वो उसका काम सरकार ना करे? ये कहना चाहती है कॉलेजियम सिस्टम। तो ये बिल्कुल गलत बात है। कॉलेजियम सिस्टम का जो बिल्कुल गलत काम है, उनका तरीका गलत है, सिस्टम गलत है। तो ये समाप्त होना ही चाहिए और जजों की आय व्यय के बारे में भी ट्रांसपेरेंसी बिल्कुल आनी चाहिए.
Absolutely. Bharatji, coming for the final round, and see, is it is a vendetta politics the Modi government is playing? Let me ask you a fair question. Why? Because this noise started becoming louder after EC said that after Supreme Court said that EC में जो अपॉइंटमेंट हो रहा है उसका क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है, इतना जल्दी क्या है, उनका फाइल लेके आइए, they once they started asking question on the election commission, all of a sudden the noise started becoming louder. Okay, is the agenda of the Modi government is to clip the wings of Supreme Court? Why all of a sudden, if you see here, one of the judges today who was rejected by the center, who was recommended by the collegium, again he was son of another senior lawyer also, Mr. B.N. Kripal, chief son, Kripal ji hai. He says, I have been rejected. Yeah, my partner is from abroad. They say I have a security issue, but the main problem for the center is I am from the LGBT community. That's why they don't want to kind of approve my thing. Like that, lot of people are showing finger at the at the center of Modi and government also. What do you say?
First and foremost, I don't understand what is Modi government. The government which is in power today has been duly democratically elected by the people of India. It is not, one individual that was elected. It is the system. He has won fair and square, and the parliamentarians have decided that he's the best person to lead. So, I take objection to this Modi government. It is a democratically elected government which is here till the next elections, which is a year and a half away. Having said that, second, it's a case of sour grapes. Just because I don't get appointed, I'm finding some problem with the way it is being rejected. Just as there is opaqueness in the way the judiciary has selected someone or has recommended a name which is binding on the government according to the judiciary. The central government is in every right to say that we have security issues. End of story. You did not reveal why you have selected a name, but you want me to reveal why I have rejected a name. What kind of parity is that? Second, insofar as the ECCC and all this is concerned, these are firebugs. These things will go. Have a problem with tomorrow. You will have a problem with the way the CIC has been appointed or the CVC has been appointed. There are constitutional bodies. Now, the Supreme Court should first deal with the 49,000 pending cases lying with the Supreme Court first. Let them set their house in order first. There are n number of things which need correction, which need immediate attention of the topmost judiciary in the country, and that should be done first. I agree with Ramkumar ji and Harishankar ji that they need to clean up their house before they start pointing fingers at others. I want to ask, name me one judicial member from 1947 who has been found guilty of graft, immoral acts, whatever, by the judiciary itself. One judicial member. It could be I'm talking from the district court till the Supreme Court. Are you trying to tell me just because I wear a black robe, I am above human, grafts? What is judicial accountability in India today? What you have to tell me, in democracy, everybody is accountable. Tell me the method in which the judiciary is accountable.
Right.
I don't know the way. You tell me.
Absolutely. Uh, Yeah, your last word, if you didn't finish, Bharatji, can you say your last word so that?
My thing is very simple. We are a democracy. We are a young democracy. We are a very ancient and one of the most evolved cultures in the world. So we don't need to import the Westminster system for our judicial practices. In fact, our Nyaya Shastra is something which is the basis for even the Roman way of the jurisprudence that we talk about. We don't need to import, we don't need to duplicate, or we don't need to copy from anybody. As
Absolutely.
Harishankar ji was saying, we need to look within and come up with fresh ideas. Change is the only constant. I can't say I will stay rooted in 1946 because the judicial system back then, the British judicial system suits me even today. So I will stay there, but the whole world should change. I can't understand that logic. Sorry.
Absolutely. Uh, Jain Saab, your last word.
जी
Is it a government versus Supreme Court tussle? What is this actually?
देखिए आई मैं want to
Bharatji is saying, yeah, please go ahead.
want to say something. The impression which is being gathered that to the appointment of election commissioner, all things are happening. No, it is absolutely wrong. Modi government since 2014, when entered into office, they talked of judicial reform and reform in the appointment of judges. That were taken up. And not only once, right from 2015, continuously, there has been extensive scrutiny into the names. The names were accepted and rejected, both. It can't be said that has any relation with the appointment of election commissioner. Nothing to do. It is not new. It has been happening. And it has not, this government has not addressed rubber stamp or 1% of yours, 1% of mine. No compromise. This is also one thing. Earlier, what was happening? The collegium and government, they colluded. This is a list. Select 3 or 4% of mine. They say 3 and 4% of mine. And list of 5, 8, 10 that is declared. There was no tussle. Tussle has started because the government is scrutinizing each and every name, which is being not liked by collegium. They say once you have recommended, you have to accept blindly. The tussle is going on for the last 7 years, not of today. So
Absolutely.
kindly don't connect with the appointment of election commissioner, number one. And there is no political view, there is no political agenda, and there is no bias in contending by the ministers or the central government that we will not accept the names which are not correct, which are not up to mark. The question lies again, which I have stated in the beginning. What should be the system? Whether coalition system has failed, everybody will say, I will also agree, you will also agree. And people of India are agreeable. The coalition system has failed. But whether we can hand over the start to the judiciary and to the executive. Sir, with due respect for future of the country, I will never advocate for handing over the entire process in the hands of executive. It can't be. We have to evolve a new system, absolutely new system of appointment of judges. And all the elected persons are here, and there are number of persons in the country. They should think what should be the system. Number one, qualification of judges that should be fixed. Number two, again I repeating that they should have their Indian ethos. They should have the roots in the villages. They must know the Vedas and Shastras. Everywhere you find, they have to quote everywhere the foreign judgments, the Privy Council, the Lord at least, Lord at fala, but not Veda, not Shastra. Why? We are the first. We are the Nyaya Shastra. Indian Nyaya Shastra is so famous. It will learn in Germany. It will learn everywhere. So we have to keep that in mind also.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, please go ahead.
जी जी जी, बोलिए बोलिए जी।
No, I have a question to you also, and Ram Kumar ji also for a quick minute, if you can cover on this. Like Bharat ji says, in fact, if a judge is found guilty of some misruling, misappropriation case or bribery and those kind of things, if at all they found, is there or for any other reason, is there a way to impeach a judge in the current system at all, or is it needed?
Yes, that is needed. You are correct. That requires, there is no law. And there is law in 1992, when you want to say something like a judge, even a FIR, you have to take permission. And nothing is happening. There is no system then where you can complain, make a complaint. And even if you have full proof, documents and evidences, nobody is going to hear you. And that should be, that's very transparent. For the inquiry of judges and complaint of judges, there should be like Lokpal or anything, that should be there. I agree. And every judge must disclose his income before entering into the office. This is also required. And a lot of reform in judicial system is required. And I submit one thing. Once judiciary is clean, India will become clean. There are so many things are happening because people are not getting justice according to law. They are not getting justice. And law is
Absolutely.
being misinterpreted on the views, on the fumes of the persons at chair. On whims, the judgments are being given. It requires, and India will become a very good country. Every bad is will go if there is an honest justice. Kindly
Absolutely.
consider, a person is in jail. A person is in jail for minor offenses. Yes, he will not get bail. A person who is guilty of 1,000 crores of bungling the public money, he gets bail. What is the law? For MLAs, MPs, there is separate court, very lavishly court. You can't say the court. It is a five-star hotel. See, there is a commercial court. The commercial court outlook is very different. There is people's court. The public is lying. Nobody is going to hear them. This is
Absolutely.
the this is the socialism. This is the socialism of India. And this socialism has failed. This socialism has failed. And not only that, here secularism has also failed. It is being misinterpreted only for the reason of Western interest by the
Ab-
judges. So all
ab-
things require total change. It will
Thank
require total change and total
absolutely.
revolution.
Thank you. Ram Kumar ji, your last word. See, one thing I see, Ram Kumar ji, मैं एक चीज मैं बताऊंगा कि Indian people have rejected the nepotism and vamshavad in politics. They have rejected nepotism and vamshavad in Bollywood. Now, do you think this will same thing will happen in judiciary too? Your last word, Ram Kumar ji.
मेरा कहना ये है कि जुडिशरी को अपनी जो ये इशू है इसको प्रेस्टेज या ईगो नहीं बनानी चाहिए। आज भी देश के आम लोगों का जो विश्वास है वो जुडिशरी पे टिका हुआ है। तो अगर जुडिशरी अपने ये प्रेस्टीज इशू बनाएगी और या ईगो रखेगी और इस सिस्टम को सुधारने में अड़चने डालेगी तो कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि आम जनमानस का जो विश्वास जुडिशरी पे है वो उनका विश्वास उठ जाए। तो ये अगर ऐसा होता तो देश के लिए बहुत बड़ा नुकसान होगा। इससे ज्यादा कोई नुकसान नहीं हो सकता कि अगर जन सामान्य का जो विश्वास है वो जुडिशरी के ऊपर खत्म हो जाए। तो इसलिए मैं तो सबसे निवेदन करूंगा ये जुडिशरी के लोगों से भी कि इसको सुधारने के लिए राष्ट्र के हित में काम करें। ये सबसे आवश्यक काम है।
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And want to say you people took your time and came and discussed. We want to thank you for that. Appreciate it highly, and this means a lot. And we hope the judiciary will see a very very big cleanup in the coming days for sure. Thank you, Bharat ji. Thank you, Harishankar Jain ji. Thank you, Ram Kumar Sethi ji. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
भरत जी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। और
सर मेरा
सनातन धर्म के मुकुटमणि हरिशंकर जी के चरणों में हार्दिक दंडवत।
अरे नहीं, ऐसा ना कहिए, मैं आपको
चलो।
सर
चरण
मैं आप दोनों के आशीर्वाद का मतलब भीख ही मांग सकता हूँ, और आशीर्वाद देना आपका मतलब
सब भगवान के पास।
आपका धर्म है, तो आप मना भी नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन
नहीं,
क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ अगर ऊंच नीच कुछ बोल दिया हो तो।
अरे नहीं साहब, ऐसा कुछ नहीं।
थैंक यू, थैंक
अरे
यू।
नहीं,
नमस्कार।
हरे
नमस्कार।
कृष्ण, हरे
हरे
कृष्ण।
हरे
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे हरे कृष्ण।